Buddy, coming to you live from the parking lot. Oh, it's a lovely day out here. Too bad I'm going to lose 9 hours of it in the brain press, but sadly, that's life. Uh, so, how's everybody out there doing? As you all know, as predicted, the usual suspects have come crawling out from their caves and from under their rocks. And, down there inside, where the dead trees are, lying on the forest floor with the worms and the grubs, and have began already taking pot shots at Shooty Gatwa. Or is it Gatwa? I'll get it right someday. Don't worry about it. And it's just amazing to me that nobody saw this coming. It's like, every time somebody new comes out, or so, they're never going to be satisfied. Mr. Tardis put this quite succinctly in one of his videos. If you've not seen it, they can't be happy. They cannot be allow themselves to be happy. No matter what anyone puts on the screen, they're going to complain. Um, like I said, you even had, I think it was, I'm not sure, but I think it was Bowel Movement, whatever his name is. Actually had a video which was clipped and played as an example. I believe it was Mr. Tardis. It was on a Mr. Tardis video that he even basically said, if the next doctor is not a straight white male, then they're not going to be happy. And it's like, really? Like, and sure enough, apparently, the rabbit of another habit is out there, hopping on, his 2 cents worth. And it's like, why do, it's like, this is why people watch them. And sadly, this is why they get an audience. Because they act like utter morons. And people keep tuning in to see what they're going to say. And I keep telling people that's how Howard Stern built a career, was because he had the haters and the people who liked him all tuning in to see what he was going to say next. Guy built a multi-million-dollar empire on that. And that's what these guys are hoping to do in the back of their minds, is, somehow prove they're brilliant, astute, and somehow ahead of the curve by acting like total idiots. And sadly, in some cases, that's what you got to do these days to get ahead on YouTube and other media platforms, is be this completely fake person who's nowhere in the neighborhood of yourself. And I tried doing that at first, and I couldn't do it. Because to me, it's like I'd be lying to y'all. I've had people out there left and right trying to tell me, well, you can't say this, you shouldn't do that. And I'm like, how dare you stand up for yourself? And it's like, because I'm sorry, but my father raised, at least one of his kids to be able to see through bullshit at 50 yards through a 6-foot steel reinforced concrete bunker, sheathed in lead with kryptonite and whatever. And I just, you know, sometimes I just can't unsee it. But no, the reason why I put how dare they is because it's all part of a conspiracy by the BBC. They've brought on another Scotsman. You see, it's all part of the Scottish conspiracy. Come on, look. You had Tennant, popping in there. Then you had the Scottish showrunner, the Scottish doctor, the Scottish master. Now you've got another Scottish doctor in there. It's a blatant evil plot to turn your children Scottish. Oh. Oh yeah, I saw. Yeah, of course. Yeah, we forgot about Sylvester McCoy back in the day. I felt bad about that, but he was the beginning of the evil. That's where it all started and took root. And then look who is the next doctor, McGann. McGann clearly tied to the Scottish plot. Eccleston was as far north as they could get away with and not be conspicuous. I don't know. I'm not just gonna go out and start watching a series because somebody's in it. Like I said, well, I'll take a look at some clips of his work and things like that. See what I think. I'll do the same thing I've done with everyone else who's come into this thing. I'll just have to do a little research, a little digging, throw a few clips out here and there, and see what I come up with. Um, and yeah, then you had a Scottish James Bond. You see how they're getting their grips into the culture. How dare they? I'm sorry, I just can't help but laugh at some of the things I've seen and heard. Um, and it's sad too because they did a lot of the same things to Jodie Whittaker. You know, I'm dying. It's like, have they started botting Rotten Tomatoes yet? Because that's one of the tactics that was used, and that's why Rotten Tomatoes had to take down certain functions. Because not only was Doctor Who Series 11 being hit, before it was months before it even aired, they were already smacking negative stuff on the page. They were also botting Wonder Woman the movie back then. Um, and it's like, then they wonder how they're not being conspicuous, that it's all bull. Matter of fact, I just found out that somebody was trying to bot the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS YouTube videos. And I told him, look, luckily though, YouTube has gotten a little bit more, on top of this, because I'm sorry, I had videos where, I didn't get a chance to type this to him, but I had videos where the video wasn't even 5 minutes old, and yet it had 88 dislikes on it or something like that. And I'm like, and that many people hadn't even watched it yet according to the view counter. And I'm like, how could this video have 88 dislikes on it, yet like 12 or 13 views? That makes no sense unless you're botting the vid. And sadly, there's people out there who know how to do this. But luckily, like I said, YouTube's gotten more and more on top of it. And then they wonder, why you report it. And they go, well, blah, 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 this, blah. And sadly, they're convincing people this is part of the algorithm. And it's like, yeah, sure, it does increase. But like I said, but the way they're doing it, it's not counting on the view counter. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of what brings up your YouTube video is the average view duration more than anything. It's your ability to keep people tied up, keep their attention. And the reason why is because the longer you can keep their attention, the more likely they're going to get stuck watching a commercial ad. And that's what really makes the big money on YouTube. That's why they've been really, really letting certain things get away. They were cracking down on reaction videos again. It's like, how can you sit there and claim fair use on your video when one of the things that's stipulated under fair use is it must be informative, or what you call it, and educational, and you're only supposed to use clips. And then I think it's supposed to be, but mostly geared towards nonprofit, unless you're a news agency or something like that. But then they go on and say, but if you go to my Patreon channel, you can see the whole thing. Right there, you just tossed away your right to fair use out the window. You've just told them you're going to show somebody the entire copyrighted work in exchange for their money. which means you are effectively saying you've just violated the Copyright Act. You see, and that's why I can't get what people don't get when their videos get struck. It's like you're basically using YouTube as the commercial for your Patreon page. And YouTube is starting to not like that. Plus, as you know, we saw before with another certain channel that was showing anime reactions, they were showing the entire vid, somehow getting away with it by, reverse video, transparency, and all that. And then wonders why one of the voice actors caught on and basically went off on him. It's like you're making probably several $1,000s a month off something that I did voiceover work on and maybe made $50. It's like, but it's like I said, but the thing that's freaking me out is then you have the reaction compilation videos where they're taking clips of videos from other people's reaction channels, making them into one big mashup. And it's like, don't we have a thing about that under YouTube guidelines? That you weren't supposed to be able to just take other people's videos and use it on your channel? Yet these guys are doing it all the time. And it's like, they are charging money, which, are monetizing the video, so they are stealing other people's properties, who are in kind of interesting. You can't complain because they're stealing other people's copyrighted properties, who are stealing other people's copyrighted properties. Talk about complex thinking there. It's kind of like a circular motion. It's like, oh, goodness gracious. But yeah, it's amazing how many loopholes people try to find in the law and all that to get away all this weird stuff. But yeah, it's all, like I said, sorry I wandered off a bit there, but it's just, all this weird stuff going on out there in the world, and once again, people are complaining about the doctor. And about how the show is going to somehow destroy their social network, or take down the infrastructure of their nation, or some stupid crap like that. It's like, folks, they're not laughing with you, they're laughing at you. Okay? But the sad part is, all the people that are laughing at them and all that, you're paying them. Every time you click on an Artie video, Bowley video, or the rabbit from Another Habit, you're giving them money. You're encouraging them. Quit doing it if you don't like what they're saying. I did a long time ago. Well, folks, it's that time. I got to get going. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Be kind, be calm, be safe. And take care, everyone. And I'll hopefully see you in the future. Have a nice day.